Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more."
Oh, sorry. Distinctly I remember it was the bleak December, and each separate dying member ought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book source of morrow. Sorry for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless her for evermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain redness of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
"'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it and nothing more."
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitantly, then no longer.
"Sir," I said, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came a-tapping, and so faintly you came a-tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more."
deep into the darkness peering. Long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no more mortal over dares to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word they spoken was the whispered word,
"Lenore?"
This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word,
"Lenore."
Morely this and nothing more.
Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. So again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before.
"Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what that is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mane of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it bore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore? Tell me what thy lordly name is in the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven,
What? Evermore. Evermore.
"Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear disclose so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as
Nevermore.
I'm gonna have a sneezy Dundee.
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if the soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered.
till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said,
Nevermore.
startless as the stillness broken by the reply so aptly spoken. "Doubtless," said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of
Nevermore. Nevermore.
but the raven still bludgeoning my sad face into smiling. Straightened I wore a cushioned seat in front of bird, and bust and door. Then upon the violet skinning I betook myself to liking, fancy to fancy, thinking what is animus spurred of yore. What this grim, ungodly, ghastly grunt and ominous bird of yore meant in the croaking,
Nevermore!
This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing. To the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core, this and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamplight gloated but whose violet lining with the lamplight gloating she shall press nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen cleanser, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by the angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe, from thy memories of the Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore!
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil.
Nevermore.
whither tempest sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undeterred on this desert land enchanted, on whose home by hero haunted. Tell me truthfully, I implore, is there bloom in Gilhead? Tell me, I implore.
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul whose sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume of a token of the lie of the soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door.
Nevermore.
Take thy beak from my heart, and take thy form from my door.
Eh?
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
and the raven, never flirting, still is sitting, still is shitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas,
Is that the
above my
entrance?
chamber door, on his eyes of all seeming of the demons that are dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him, streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted.
Nevermore.
Nevermore.
Did you put that shit bit in there?
Nevermore. Distinctly, I remember it was the bleak December, and each separate dying member aught its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books surcease for sorrow. Sorry for I'm sorry.